So 3, 2, and 1. Here's the main case opposition tells us. First of all, they say this is the teenager's golden time, the only opportunity they have, and teens should grasp on this if they don't want to fail or waste their time in their future. We aren't talking about what teens should do, but rather the harms of the norms in the first place, right? We don't think side opposition actually reads the info slide or the motion carefully, since in the info slide it specifically talks about how the new defining decade norm refers to the fact that teens between the age of 10 or 19 what they do in this basically age gap can significantly impact the rest of their life, and they should not just participate in fun or hang out with their friends whatsoever and only focus on what is the best for their future. We believe this norm is actually very detrimental, and we'll tell you why. First of all, it's important to realize that people have different goals in life, right? One might have high hopes for the future and want to start making money from a young age, and others might have smaller dreams, which is just to be able to volunteer or have time to devote to their passion. But proposition on our side, we actually look at the bigger picture by allowing more people to make their decisions and achieve the impossible. We also want people to understand that their age doesn't actually define their success. On side opposition, the whole case is on what we have just told you. The goal of this debate is really simple. First of all, we mainly focus on which side will benefit the people in general. For example, for the youth, what do they actually expect when they come of age? And what do people expect of them in return? And how do people actually want them to turn out? As we have also mentioned a bit on the adult side, which is how they feel when they look back at their age and they cannot achieve all of those things. First of all, by benefiting here, we actually mean a couple of things. We allow them to enjoy and focus on the important aspects of life. For example, their interest, their passion, and what they truly want to do in the future, as well as improving themselves for the better, because you will only succeed when you understand yourself, what you truly want, instead of following the crowd. And we don't drag people down because of their mistakes or because of their past, and people will not get too stressed or overwhelmed of what they can't do during their teenage years, or that they can't meet all the expectations and fun. And people will eventually have more hopes in what they're capable of instead of always reminiscing the past. At least on our side, we care for people's well-being in general. We focus on what they're truly good at and direct them to the best path. We never let youth or adults dwell from the past and think of what they should have done. Instead, we give them opportunities to grow as a person. On our side, we don't ask the question, what should I have done to be more successful, to be better, but we give them a chance. That's really simple. Note that this is not a debate on what teens can do, but on how harmful it is to put this huge pressure and this huge norm on them. And this is exactly what opposition is doing on their side of the house. And they completely assume a couple of these things. First of all, they assume that every teens will succeed if they follow this norm. Opposition make it seem like every teens will have the capability to strive and are emotionally prepared for all of the challenges. Know that no matter how mature opposition said teens can be, they still need guidance during this crucial step in their life, and we never once discourage them from achieving their dreams, but this norm basically ingrained in their heads that chances are rare, and if you fail now, you lose out on the biggest moment of your life, and opposition simply has never engaged with this point in the first place. They also neglect the fact that teens will fail in their teenage years, right? They never once paid any attention to the mental health of kids. On our side, we at least look at the practical side and show you how success is not defined by their age, but rather determination and support. They also neglect a key aspect for teens also, which can determine their success, is economic background. We have specifically framed this before, and we have given you enough mechanism in our substantive speeches, is that under this norm, there will be immense pressure under them. They basically have a mindset is that, oh, I'm only 18, my family is poor, and I can never contribute to anything in life because I missed out on the only opportunity I have. So this is not about what teens can do, because teens can do anything they set their mind to, but the point here is how this norm has shaped their minds altogether. So a couple of clashes we have in this debate, and we'll also combine them with a bit of rebuttals too. First of all is on personal growth, right? Because true personal growth will only happen when people feel encouraged to try harder and not dwell on their mistakes or past, specifically what they should have done better. On our side, which is basically ask people, what do you think you can do and whether you can achieve this or not? Well, what has the opposition said? Opposition said that on their side, they can prevent teens basically from wasting their teenage years and teens will not lose direction and be more mindful on their side of the house. We don't see how having fun once in a while or hanging out with their friends will instantly lead to failing or can't attend university. They completely miss the whole point of being a teenager in the first place and don't provide any characterization on what a teenager is actually like. We have specifically said to you how teens learn right from framing, right? They learn from others, their surroundings, their experiences in life. In that way, they slowly but surely develop their mental and emotional well-being. Not once did opposition tells you how teenagers even navigate life in the first place. Yes, we do agree that pressure happens and there will be challenges along the way, but that doesn't mean we should put this norm under them. The harmful norms that basically scarily ask them the question, what should have you done better, and tells them, oh, you should have done this, or you should have done, or you should have been more confident. This norm is very detrimental. First of all, teens don't have a support system and a guidance, and secondly, they keep self-doubting their abilities on whether they're good enough for such a big thing awaiting them. And also, second of all, there's a clash on motivation, right? Because we believe on our side, pressure is a normal part of life, and anyone from any age groups experience it somewhat in their life. Similarly, making mistakes is a part of growing up. The flaw of said opposition is that they make it sound like youth, which is from 10 to 19 is like basically the once in a lifetime opportunity for success. And if you miss out on the opportunity, you're doomed. Making mistakes, participating in foolish activities is basically part of growing up, and having fun or like spending time just self-reflecting, thinking about yourself is part of growing up, and we cannot expect teens to flourish in every imaginable field. We'll move on to show you how motivation happens only on our side of the house and why their side don't have any definition of motivation whatsoever. Because on their side, they just simply said the fact that if you prepare now, teens will be more successful and they don't waste their time, etc. But we believe that this does not mean motivation, right? Because motivation is good since it basically encourages people to try hard for their goals and dreams, and this is basically what drives people forward, and they have a chance to learn from their mistakes. What truly creates this motivation? People feel motivated when they're being encouraged to do better and like chances still awaits them, and they feel motivated when they know that they belong and receive support from their surroundings. On their side, they just simply say that on their side they can be able to prevent like laziness, any harmful behaviors, and help kids be more resilient. We do not understand how this will not happen on side opposition as well, because on their side people fail, right? People fail because there are basically two chances: they fail or they succeed. If people fail, they feel bad about themselves, they feel like they're not good enough, and they slowly stop working harder since they know their golden time is out. Our world actually allows spaces for like real, messy, diverse like youth, teenagers representation, and this we told them to look up and achieve their dreams whenever they can, whether you're 40 or you're 30 years old. It doesn't mean that 10 to 19, and if you fail, this will determine or basically ruin your entire future moving forward. On their side, they just basically tell teens that you must find your passion now. You should be successful. You should make an impact early if you really want to succeed. This is not like this. Actually, in turn, creates more pressure, and we have done really enough to tell you why this is bad. Very proud to propose.